In Jenkins' cultural logic, he mentioned media convergence, which means the media will be everywhere and we will use all kinds of media in relation to each other because of the proliferation of channels and the portability of new computing and telecommunications technologies. This is Waldemar Perez, a mechanical engineer. He talks about how mainstream media is used as a military weapon. Another strategy used to motivate young people to fight for the country is by using film. This is a section in the newest Captain America movie trailer.
New York, Washington, D.C., Sokovia. Okay, that's enough. Captain, people are afraid. That's why I'm here.
The future of media could be like in the Big Brother, but instead of the government watching you, we are the ones who are watching other people. It is also like in feed. We record everything that is going on around us, and when we share our feed to others, others can learn about what really happened through the feed. This could change how the media portrays an event. Traditionally, the news on television and newspaper tell the story of what happened in the world. An example would be the G20 summit. The stories that corporate media report may be misleading to fit their own interest. But with technologies nowadays, such as cell phones, citizens can receive more information about what really happened. And with much more advanced technologies in the future, like in Feed and Black Mirror, we can look at a single event in different perspectives, plus be more informed. This short clip shows us what the future warfare would be like. The rise of the robot is like what we see in the movies, such as the Terminator.
Atlas proves that we are not very far from creating our very own Terminators. Improving upon decades of robot development, Atlas is a very advanced humanoid robot that walks bipedally and uses its arms to lift and manipulate objects. The 6-foot, 330-pound robot can operate autonomously thanks to sensors, cameras, and lasers which map out its surroundings. Atlas has no problem climbing stairs, maintaining its balance, and traversing uneven terrain. Although the military says it has no plans for the robot, its demonstration at the U.S. Defense Robotics Challenge suggests Atlas has some role to play in the military of the future.
The media has always been central to warfare, seen in how the U.S. military was and still is at the cutting edge of military technology use. The media's present and historic role in war is to encourage recruitment and help with training. However, what becomes alarming is how these games are used to help soldiers with their training and are now being released as video games for the public. America's Army and Full Spectrum Warrior. The U.S. Army's online game, America's Army, launched in 2002, was meant to recruit young Americans with no connection to war, but plenty to video games. The game was re-released up until 2012. First released in 2004, and then again in 2006, the digital combat simulator, Full Spectrum Warrior, was your typical run-of-the-mill commercial video game. As such, it sold hundreds of thousands of copies. Full Spectrum Warrior's double life as a trainer video and a virtual toy aptly demonstrate the glamorization and normalization of war. The media's role has always been central to war, and we can see this in how the military invests large amounts of money in video games as recruitment tools for soldiers and then releases them commercially, furthering the ideology of the banalization of war, an ideology which is largely inescapable, as there is constant exposure of this ideology by way of discourse around war within popular culture, militainment. As such, war becomes part of the culture of everyday life.
All personnel report to battle stations. Base under attack.
Moreover, we are starting to see celebrities endorse video games. You can now become an action hero like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the new game of Modern War, Mobile Strike. Build a base, control the action, and test your elite troops against enemies on the battlefield. With cutting-edge assault vehicles in your arsenal, this worldwide MMO game tests your ability to wage a tactical and intelligent war. And also test the media company's ability to leverage popular technology, the smartphone, to ostentatiously promote such apps amongst the demographic of smartphone-addicted teenagers. Mobile strike adverts on social media, such as Facebook and Twitter, reaffirm how present and banal the word war is across virtually all media platforms. Essentially, the media, in particular the companies that are creating such games, are increasingly trying to adopt diverse and newfound ways to perpetuate the normalization, glamorization, and banality of war under the guise of entertainment.
The future of warfare will be relatively the same in the sense that the reasons countries and groups are in conflict with each other will be similar to the reasons we have today. It will be the where wars will be fought in the future that will be different. Wars will erupt and take place online through the use of social media and media-mediated technology.
The future will be more dangerous than ever.
The internet will give more power to humans where you can watch and control what is happening through our convenience. Fewer humans will be required to go to the actual sites as robots and artificial intelligence will be fighting against each other for us. Machines will be used for surveillance and combat purposes, and they're also capable of performing tasks that would otherwise be lethal for humans.
Like remotely controlled robots now commonly used for surveillance and for destroying bombs.
The future will consist of constant updates about war and our electrical devices wherever we go. However, at this point, it will not have the same impact as it did. We will become immune to seeing images of war everywhere and have little to no reaction because we are desensitized to it. Talking about war and hearing about current wars that are going on will become the norm. The banalization of violence against the unnamed or underrepresented creates an atmosphere of disinterest and eventually a complete lack of empathy to others. We will become preoccupied and interested in other realms of our world and shift our focus to them.
To recap or the major point, Di Rutherford and Greg DePertor give impacts or consequences of a new era of war. 1. Unlike wars between two nations ended in a former surrender or negotiation, there is no longer a winner or a loser. It all comes down to who wins at the end of every day. The war becomes a permanent social relation that reoccurs every day. 2. Boundaries between the enemies become blurred and military security activities become mainstream. The military uses the war as a means to justify constant surveillance of civilian daily life and breach of privacy. 3. War becomes the norm of social life. Civilians back home are in constant state of war. They are either fighting through commercial military games, watching it on war-themed movies, or taking spying into their own hands. The advancement of the ICTs allow for the banalization of war by infusing it into every corner of our entertainment and game industry. The ICTs do such a great job in creating simulations for military, video games for the media, video games for the celebrity endorsements, and movies with war. Their job has allowed war to be so mainstream that no one is going to think twice before going to watch The Dawn of Justice, Batman vs Superman on Friday night. P.S. We're totally Team Superman.